Look at these Jerusalem artichokes that finally died off. These are the ones that we will be eating. The ones that we are selling, we are actually having a different location on the property. Some more right there. Shalom, shalom, following Yisra'el. Welcome again to the Rock. One of the questions that I've gotten a lot recently is, following Yisra'el, what should I be doing right now? You know, freeze came in, killed my garden, or took my garden out. What should I be doing right now to get my garden ready for next planting season? I want my gardens to look like your gardens. First of all, I want to say I'm honored that y'all would say that. And I'll tell you what I would be doing right now. And what I am doing right now. Now, I can't say it for all my gardens because a lot of my gardens, even though we had a 25-degree freeze, are still producing heavily. Like my herbs, some oregano, sage, that's lemon balm. We have peppermint. I grow peppermint, spearmint, sweet mint, and chocolate mint here. And you can see I got some lettuces growing in, still in this garden. Some different cabbages going down. You can see the mustards growing in down there. So what do I do right now? Well, one of the things that I'm doing is preparing my soil. Here's some of my herbs that I'm growing. There's a different type of oregano right there. We have wormwood, licorice. And you'll notice something that I have in all of my tires right here. That's my herbs. Even my aloe vera is alive. Some of the dock family, bitter dock and curly docks, wormwood. So the herbs are doing great, but if you notice, I'm putting a lot of carbon in the tires. In fact, that's really one of the things that I'm doing right now. I'm actually starting the preparation of my soil for next year. Got more mint. More mint. They're harvesting a lot of these mints right now. Chocolate mints. Some of them right here. Some of the plants are going to seeds. All these right here are mints. Those are curly mustards right there. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just preparing the soils. I take as much carbon as I can find. Also, I take a lot of eggshells. I crush these up and feed them back to the chickens, or because the chickens will get the calcium out of them, or I put them in my gardens. I save all of my wood ash. We've been burning our wood stove. But I'm putting all of this back into my gardens in preparation for next year. For those that are asking, how do you, because we've had some 25, 24-degree freezes already, how do you protect your plants? Well, there's two ways. One, grow things that can tolerate it. Like you see, I have some mustards in there. Right here, these are all radishes, white icicle radishes. This is some of that Chinese cabbage. I'm just gonna call it Chinese cabbage. But see, the frost killed off my turmeric and my my ginger looks like it still might be alive. There's still some green, but the turmeric killed it all. Oh no, the turmeric's still alive too. Huh. But if you can see, all of my gardens, look at the size of these leaves on these giant curly mustards. Yes, I do sell these. Look at the size of that leaf. And I got a big hand. You can see the size of that leaf compared to my hand. But one of the things you should be doing right now, especially in fall, I do this every fall, is I put as many of these leaves as I can in the gardens. Right now I'm growing a lot of root crops. These are purple top spinach. No, purple top, turnips. Some beets that made it. You said I'll find pieces of cardboard and just throw it in here. More beets. These are all radishes in here. Cherry radishes, I believe. These are just a couple of my gardens. So the gardens that I don't have anything growing in, like this side right here, we're letting cayenne peppers finish ripening. or turning red. Even though the frost killed them off, if you leave them on the plant, they'll still turn red. So you can see we probably already harvested 60 to 70 pounds of cayenne peppers, and we still have more curly spinach. Up there we have radishes and some random mustards. I think we have some choys up there also, bok choy, and then bulbed onions. We also have we have a ton of gardens here. But one of the things that I'm doing is putting tons of organic material on it. Also, I'm giving a ton of organic material to my chickens, because my chickens, you see all those leaves in there, we dump leaves in there, and that ground in there is probably about 1.5 to 2 feet deep right now of chicken compost that they are making for me. And this is what when I take it out of the coop, this is what it'll look like. Here's one of the bins right here. We get some more bins. All chicken compost. So one of the things you can do right now is take all this organic material that you have. Dog bag. Take all this organic material that you have on your land. Put it in your gardens. This is one of the ways that my greens make it through these cold freezes. This is about 3 inches deep of new leaves that are breaking down. You see, I just throw leaves in here. They'll sift themselves down to the bottom and break down into soil, and that soil acts as an insulator. That's why I plant a lot of root crops in the late fall, with some mints that we planted over here in our pear tree area. And if you look, I use the contour. When it rains, the water will run down sometimes. If it's a heavy rain, and it'll run into my chicken coop, through my chicken coop, and the water will carry the nutrients into this smaller orchard right here, where I think I have like 8 pear trees, which you can see all the mint spreading and growing. We got mint right there, and we have mint right here. Here's another pile of chicken manure right next to one of our chicken coops. And I put this manure next to this chicken coop because as this is breaking down, the heat will radiate through that felt, through the wood, and actually help keep the chicken coop warmer. So that's just one of the things that I do. And you can see how deep the chicken manure is compared to the ground outside of the coop. All that's just leaves and stuff, weeds that I give to them, they break down. So this is one of the things you can do. Put as much organic material as you can in your gardens. Leaves, nitrogen, wood ash. Save all that stuff and dump it in your gardens. Mound it up if you can. Get 3, 4, 5 inches, get a foot deep of leaves and just keep pouring nitrogen. Now, if you know anything about the human body, you know the human body does produce nitrogen. Use whatever you have to get nitrogen in your garden on top of the carbon to break down that carbon. Put the wood ash in there. Wood ash, also known as potash, provides manganese, magnesium, phosphorus, and potassium for your plants. So it's that stuff that you buy, the 10 whatever fertilizers. Yeah, you can just put potash in your garden and get, which is burnt wood. Usually hardwoods, but I put burnt leaves in there, everything that I burn. As far as non-toxic, I'm talking about wood, soft woods, hardwood, sticks, leaves. After I burn it, I'll put it in my gardens because it will provide nutrients. And then the charcoal also breaks down in your gardens. I'll put charcoal also in here in my chicken coop because the chickens will actually peck the charcoal, and it's actually used as a natural dewormer. Charcoal is. So it'll actually help the chickens also. So I'll now obviously make sure, let me just give this disclaimer, make sure your wood ash is cooled off. You don't want to put wood ash on top of dry leaves in your garden. So if you have a garden that's already been wiped out by freezes and is now in its dormancy stage, start piling in as much organic material in there as you can. If you have decayed pieces of wood, put it in there. Lay it on top and pile leaves on top of it. Pile as much nitrogen as you can on top of it. And let it do this all winter. All fall, all winter. And when spring comes, your soil is going to look so nice. And again, it provides that insulation for your greens that are still there. If you have greens that are still surviving, go ahead and insulate them. You know, I'll have a video coming out of the insulation process, but by insulating them, you'll actually have them last longer into the winter. Again, we've had 25, I think we had a 24 degree freeze, and it hasn't touched my greens. It hasn't touched my lettuces either. I have lettuces still growing. I have cilantro still growing. I'll show you that real quick and I'm in this video. So I hope this answers your question. I hope this has been a blessing. But look at the garlic. It's taking over this bed, and you can see the wood ash in there. I just pile wood ash. I just throw it in there. I don't have any secret measurement, you know, or anything like that. I just throw the wood ash in there. So you can see the lettuces and cilantro. And you can see up there, I just threw wood ash in there. Then we got some clover as a ground cover. I do use ground covers. And also, when you do remove, let's say your plants died off. There's another thing that I do. Let's say your plants died off. Those are all peppers that I still have to harvest. As you can see, they died off. Do not pull the plant up. You're better off cutting the plant right maybe an inch or two above the ground and leaving the root systems in the soil, because the root systems, as they decay, will aerate your garden. The little areas of where air can pass through. Here's our stove. We've been cooking on it. It's been awesome. If you haven't seen our video, I have a video on how we built this using the clay, some chicken wire, a little bit of rebar, and some brick. And we cook on this outside all the time, along with our burner and burner. So I hope this video is helpful. If you have any other questions about, you know, this thing, gardening, please ask them. And if I can help, I can help. And I will try and help you as far as growing the best kind of food possible and possibly mitigating any sort of problems that you may be having. Because nutrients, one of the biggest issues that I've seen with people's gardens, when I've talked with them and helped them with their gardens, is there's not enough they did not do enough nutrients and building of the soil during the late fall and winter season, and then they go to the store and try to throw in a bunch of fertilizers, and they don't actually know they're actually working at a deficiency. The plants are. So this is one of the ways to have your soil absolutely ready and primed for when spring comes next year. You're gonna have some great results as far as you're growing. And I'll also talk later on why I let some of my plants go to seed at this time. These are some mustards. I harvested some of them, but I let a lot of them go to seed. And there's a reason why. It's because I'm actually training them to be frost resistant. Anyways, I hope this video has been helpful. Bless y'all. Shalom.